like to ask this question, Honorable Muna. As Honorable Muna said, the reason students fail don't have anything to do with the teachers, and it can be family problems, stress, poverty, and psychological reasons. But what about if they are suffering from these problems, but if a teacher performs and explains very well the work, it will motivate them, but if the teacher performs poorly explaining and helping the students, won't it demotivate them and affect their performance?
The teacher cannot control and discipline learners and lazy learners. You are the one who knows that this one will be effective in future. The teacher studies his own, but you are the one who now will be struggling. It's not a teacher.
This question goes to Honorable Anissa. That you said learners, that the reason that learners fail the exam because of the teacher, but why should we balance the teachers only?
As I said, that 80% of the blame goes to the teacher, and the remaining 20% goes to the students and the parents. And the 80% goes to the teacher because they are the ones to teach the students, and if they don't use good methods and techniques to help the students, then the blame goes to them.
How can the blame goes to the teacher? How can the blame goes to the teacher? Why he always come in class and said, please keep quiet, please stop sleeping, and while the students are sleeping and still they are talking in the class while the teacher explaining. And I think that we saw in our class.
Yeah, it happens in our class and most of us know that. But if the teacher has the responsibility to report to the manager, and if that teacher don't do the responsibility he have to do, then it's his problem because he didn't report to the manager.
Even if he report to the manager, they go to the office and they get the punishment, but they still have the behavior and they are still doing the same thing every day. How are we going to say like the teachers, they don't want to take the blame?
I'm saying, I agree to what you are saying. Still, the blame goes to the teacher and the student. As I said, 20% goes to the student and 80% goes to the teacher. And if a teacher don't report to the manager, then the blame has to be the teacher because he is not using good techniques or methods. He is not trying to explain the work, or he is not helping the students to be motivated or encouraged and help them to help the curiosity they have on the lesson.
I think we saw our class teacher. Every day he comes to class, like sometimes it's having 50 minutes. He's just motivating us, says that stop disturbing the teachers, be attentive, but still we are doing the same. Even if he goes to the office and every day, like, I think our class teachers, they do like a weekend report. Even if they report, the learner is the same person. You can't change, like if the person doesn't have any interest in learning, like how are you going to focus? How are you going to force like a person who doesn't have any interest in learning?
Okay, and I know, and I know that our class teacher uses good techniques and methods to help, and that's why we are performing good in his subjects, because he's using good methods and techniques, and that's why we are performing good on his subjects. And I know that every teacher have to use techniques and methods as our class teacher, because he uses good techniques and methods to help us, and that's why we are performing well on his subjects.
Not only his subjects, even now we perform well in chemistry, in biology. And the highest person could 96. That's okay. All teachers, they use all the same method. Even the teacher Davis, he came up and said, please stop making notes. I'm going to teach this. Even he give us a quiz every day when he comes to class. That he is still doing, like he's.
And I'm not only saying that our class teacher is the one who uses good techniques, excuse me, also other teachers uses good techniques and methods, and that's why we are performing well on their subjects. But except from our class, I'm not trying to provoke other teachers, excuse me, but I know that other schools or other classes perform badly because their teachers didn't understood, or maybe the students didn't realize that they have to be good and ask the teachers if they have understood.
And he said, you know that the teachers, they give you 20% of the topic. You must look the other 78%. It's your responsibility, not to blame the teachers.
Okay, if the 20% goes to the students, 20% goes to the teacher and the 78% goes to the students. So will the 20% of the teacher help the student? Because the 90% of the explanation and the methods the teacher use have to be on the teacher, and the 10% remaining will be on the student, because the student have to read and every day and I have to understand. If they didn't understand, they have to ask the teacher they didn't understand. But the 90% goes to the teacher, because you have to make them understand and ask questions. Thank you. And I think I answered your question.